I like this area and I want to use it vertically. So let's first select the layer blending mode and correct our values. I think this area is fine. I need to correct my perspective, and I think there is some darker areas, so let's correct the values. All I have to do is to make my values match my original concept, and then later on in the end we can completely create some new lighting scenario by using the curves and levels tool. But that is just like post-production, when we color correct the videos and images. Try to keep these things for the end, and like the color correction and contrast, and that is good for the end, and you are able to control better in the end. Even these kind of smaller areas need to follow the perspective. Otherwise, it's not going to look correct. Everything sits in a perspective. Maybe some sort of communication equipment is up there, and it's got a lot of small pipes and things like that. I like this element for the side, and let's see how we can fit this into our own building silhouette. Levels adjustment to fit that into my building silhouette. Let's take this communication equipment, communication tower sort of thing, and use it in our own design. Taking a copy of it and using it some other places. It's all about placing it in the right position, and that comes with experience and knowledge of the design, and what kind of a design works and what kind of design does not work. This all comes with experience and knowledge of the design. When designing these kind of buildings, when designing any kind of building, we need to know the function of that building. right? So if that was a modern architecture, then it would not contain these kind of elements like pipes and communication equipments, right? So it all depends on your design language. I like this element from the ship, so let's grab it. This will need some perspective adjustment, so let's take some rulers in order to be able to judge our horizontal and vertical lines. You can get the rulers by pressing Ctrl R, and then you can transform to correct your horizontals. Remove the lines. As you saw that I'm using these images in a very different way than it was used in its own image. There it did a different function, and now it is completely doing a different thing. It is looking completely different when I have transformed it and reduced the values and stretched it and make it vertical then horizontal. Previously it was horizontal in the original image, right? So that is the most fun part, to come up with something, and by mixing and matching and by experimenting with it. I don't want you to spend too much time in these kind of things. If you don't like something, you can discard it and you can try something new. All right, so I like the upper part of this ship, this aircraft carrier. So let's just go to the channels and extract that part with ease. And now I can easily extract any part of it. I like this area, so I'm going to use it in my building. As you can see that every time I bring a new texture, new image, I do the same exact thing. And this is really easy and fun, right? So if you're finding it hard in the beginning, you will get it after some practice, and then it's gonna be a second nature for you, and it's gonna be really fast process. So extract the area which you like and use it in your design. In reality, I could have drawn that too, but that would have taken me a lot longer time. So nowadays, with these kind of techniques, photo batching techniques, as long as you know what you are doing, as long as you know the design basics, then you can literally boost your working time, and you can literally make it go really fast, your whole process. So there is a huge mess up there, so let's just flatten this area and make it look like some sort of panel is there. And now it's coming out pretty nice. I'm going to use some textures using the same brush, just by reducing the size of it and changing some values. I'm also going to use some gradation from the bottom just to create variation in the same area. Variation is a good thing in design, as long as it's not too much used. In this image, I like this top part where there are pipes. So let's extract that. Taking a copy of it and using it somewhere else in the building. Make it shorter. I think it needs some value adjustment. All right, that is fine now. Okay, let's get another portion of it. It's got a lot of details, but we don't need it. So let's flatten it, because as I said, there is going to be a lot of atmosphere. Let's see where it fits properly and looks interesting. Take a selection and erase from in front of the building, and that will give us a sense that this part is behind the building. And of course there is a slight value difference to it too, which is although negligible, but we can still make out the difference. Let's collapse all of these layers. It's too much to control right now. All right, so at this point I can see where my image is going, and I can at this point go ahead and create something new if I wanted to, right? So, and there are still areas that need to be textured, but now I can begin to see where it is going in the end. So that's good. So it is giving me some direction. I like this brighter area of the sky, so let's take only the bright parts. The darker parts will be eaten up by the all of the mist that we have. Only the extreme parts will be visible, and that too is not going to be that pronounced. All I'm trying right now is to make my sky not become the focal area, because it's got so much detail right now. It's the most brightest spot. I don't want it to become the focal point, so I need to dial it down. My focal point is the building, and everything must lead our eyes towards that building. Using the layer mask tool and gradient tool on top of that to control my masking, control what I want to show and what I want to hide, and using the values to adjust it further. Let's collapse the layers. And now I want to get rid of this black bar that is on the corner. Let's remove the texture. Okay. Select the layer, select the value. Just simple use the opaque paint. Let's get rid of that from the foreground too. I like this kind of rock formation, but I'm going to be using it very carefully, and I need to see where it's going to fit properly. Let's flip it, and I think this area can work, but I need to remove the details from it. Some sort of mushroom-like rock formation. This is also helping us selling the idea of it being alienish landscape. Okay, I think this is working fine. I need to erase the upper part, and because of the design, it's not looking that great, the upper part. So I'm removing it. I think it's better now. That's much better. And I really like how the image transformed my design of the background mountain. And I'm taking some selection in order to paint some atmosphere, because that's the region which is going beyond that background mountain, and it's really far away. So the atmosphere is going to be affecting that area. I'm always zooming in and zooming out to see if my composition is working right. And of course, with the Photoshop, we have so much ease. Otherwise, in the old days, people would step back, and they would look at their paintings from far behind. But we can achieve the same thing by zooming it out and seeing the whole picture. I like the highlights in these mountains, so let's use that, but not too much. So I'm gonna have to remove some of the contrast and even erase some of the portions of it.